Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel and welcome to 2023 for some of you guys. It will be now a new year, just like myself in New Zealand, but for others in South Africa, still got a little bit to go before you get to 2023. But what a way to end the year. Two South African derbies. South Africa games are always exciting in the URC, and this one, there's just that little bit more rivalry between the two Sharks versus Bulls, only less than 5 minutes away from kicking off. But I hope you guys are all excited. Looking through at the lineups, it's a lot of talent out there on this field, and there will certainly be some very awesome rugby being played. But looking through, first of all, at the home side, the Sharks, they will be as follows. It will be Oxnashare, Bongio Manambi, and Thomas Du Toit as the front row, and all South African front row, all Springboks, all ready to go in this contest. Ebenezabeth at number 4, and then it will be Gurbrand Grobler at number 5, Sia Khaleesi at 6, Venter at 7, and then Noche will be slotting in as the number 8. Ralph combo, and Kanyawam. It is absolutely awesome seeing that man back from his injury, and I do hope we do get to see him play very well throughout this matchup. Makazole Mapimpi is a try scoring machine. He's already proved that since making his way back into the Sharks side since playing for the Boks. Putzgeitzer out on the other wing, and then Chamberlain slots in as the fullback. Looking through at the Bulls side, they will be as follows. It will be Matanzima at number 1, Johan Grobbelaar at 2, and then at number 3, the man who you can't see because we've still got the Christmas logo there, it is Mornay Smith, who is hiding behind the Santa hat. Vermaak at number 4, Nokia, at number 5, Maka van Staden 6, Brink at 7, and then Heinrich Lowe slots in as number 8. Then at number 9, they have got Vanderlinde. Hopefully I've said that correctly. Chris Smith gets the start at 10. Kurtley Arinsa out on the left wing. Foster and Hendricks as the midfield. Moody out on the right. And then Johan Husson to close out the side. He will be there at number 15. But those are the two starting lineups. Two very strong sides. Like I mentioned, both raring to go. The benches, they could be the deciding matchup in this game, which is why the Sharks with Kieran van Vieren, very good option there. I'm looking through at the Bulls, though, as well. They've got Lionel Mapo, a lot of experience there. Explosive pacer, David Krell, Steenkamp in the front row alongside Lombard. I think this game is going to be a very entertaining 80 minutes of rugby action. We have got Gregor in the chat. We have got Heath, Richard, and Jack in there as well. I hope you guys are all doing absolutely brilliantly, are excited for 2023 if you haven't already hit it, or you are already enjoying the new year, just like us here in New Zealand. And Hamish, bro, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you too. Vishal, Happy New Year. Hamish, thanks for doing this, man, as well. And my game, or this game maybe, or main. Is it main? It might be main. My TV ain't working. They ruined it. My DSTV says Sim Slayer. And yeah, it is a shame that we can only cover one of the two matches that are taking place today. The reasoning behind that is we have got something early tomorrow at around, I believe it's going to be 12 p.m. New Zealand time. So that is actually in 8 hours' time. We have got a family thing that we have got on, but I decided I can't miss this game. It's a South African derby, first live stream of 2023, and it's going to be an absolutely awesome game. It's still 2022 here. No spoilers, please. Cheers, says Jay. The thing is, 2023 doesn't look too bad, Jay. That's all I say. It looks like it's going to be an all right year. Hopefully, it is the same for everyone there. And let's go. The Bulls, says Simslayer. Do let me know, ladies and gentlemen, who do you think will be winning this game? I'm not putting this down at my crotch. I'm just lifting it up a little bit, as it did look a little bit wonky, unfortunately. But looking through at the Sharks side, they've had all the talent in their lineup for a long time. It's just whether or not they can put it together on the field and make the most of it. But then some would say the same thing about the Bulls. They seem to be in a tough patch as we currently sit. Seem to be not too sure what tactics they're going to be using. And to New Year's, I'll go Sharks, says Nazi Williams. Yeah, and at home, you would think that they would have a decent chance of being able to add another win on their record. And also Toulon winning their game in the top 14, because I honestly don't really know though, Hamish, says Patrick. Wait, so they're winning their game, or you're not sure if they're winning their game? Or you're not sure why they're winning? Toulon, a very good side in the top 14. And it's 2018, still in England. Must be a long way apart, says Jack. Yeah, time zones and whatnot, and it just takes a little bit longer. Because this is a trivia question for everyone. Yeah, where is the last place in the world that's going to reach 2023. Because there's some places that are about, of course, 18 hours behind New Zealand, somewhere around there for the United States. But where is the place that are still sitting a good 24 hours away from the new year? Does anyone know who the furthest behind in the world is? Let me know. Happy to be here. Let's go Bulls, though. I don't think Bulls have the players. Yeah, it's going to be tricky because looking through at their starting lineup compared to the Sharks, you would have to say a clear, evidential edge goes to the Sharks. Springboks galore. Oxnashare, Bongi Ombanambi, Thomas Datoy, Eben Etzebeth. That's just the first four. Then you've also got Sia Khaleesi and there. The backline, Makazole Mapimbi and Lukaniwam. Going to be a tough day at the office for the Bulls. And also we have got their Makdabul Bok. There's Mornay. Now, I feel like I've really mispronounced that, haven't I? So I do apologize for that. 2023 may be something I need to try and work on is my Afrikaans, seeing as we have got plenty more South African live streams in the very near future. But the two sides making their way out. We've already seen the Bulls make their way into enemy territory. Look, Kaniwam's looking very excited to get to go out there onto the field. But Sia Khaleesi, the captain, ready to go for the South Sea Sharks once again. And howdy, season Xavier Brown, welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing well. Now, I believe for yourself, you aren't from Perth, so you will be in the new year. So happy new year to yourself, Xavier. Hope you are excited and hope you've got your New Year's resolutions set. That is something I need to write down before the end of the night, see how many of them I can actually achieve for 2023. And Hamish Rowan, India, now it is 8:15 p.m. here. So you still got 4 more hours. Is anyone doing anything special for midnight? I know there were going to be fireworks 30 minutes up the road from myself. But we didn't end up going to them in the end. We sat with the family out on a farm for a little while. And first time wanting the Bulls to win as a Stormers fan, says the referee there. Make all the Bulls box, says Mornay and Perth. If I wasn't Perth, it would still be 11 p.m. I'm not Jay Hayes. And Jay is here somewhere. So yeah, that is why I did make that reference to the slightly odd one out of Australia. Not Jay, but Perth in terms of their time zones. But the Bulls, they are going to be kicking this one off left to right for the first match of 2023 for us Kiwis of South African rugby. Here we go. It's kicked long by Mornay Smith. Nicely taken by Eben Etzebeth. Takes it inside of the 22. Martin Zima tries to get the turnover in the breakdown. Unable to do so. Now Grant Williams. Penalty goes straight away to the Bulls. Side entry against Bongi Manambi, who of course knows every single rule in the rule book and does everything completely correct in his opinion. But he got that one wrong. And so is Perth, says Jay. I'm glad Xavier is not in Perth. And also staying in, says Greg, and listening to LAB and hearing you commentate live. Couldn't be better, says Nazir Williams there as well. It's a pretty good start to 2023. I've had a productive 2023 so far. And Jay, that video, the cricketing GoPro, Sebastian, I know that you were also keen to see it. It is coming out 7:30 p.m. tonight, New Zealand time. It's finally scheduled. I had no idea what to do with the thumbnail, I'll be honest. It doesn't look the smoothest, but we'll see how it goes. And happy 2023, mate. New year. And he keeps going. Rather beautiful, 10 out of 10, says Sebastian. Yeah. And we have no intentions of slowing down, which might be, surely we get burnt out by the end of 2023. I doubt it, though. It's going to be kicked over by Mornay Smith. Sorry, not Mornay, Chris Smith. He spends that much time with Mornay Stain. Sometimes I just think that he's like his younger brother. That will be 3-0 now for the away side. The Bulls gifted that 3 points by Bongi Ombanambi. Don't mind name dropping that man. As like I mentioned, he knows all the rules. And Kiwi lads, village cricket, says Sebastian. Yeah, I didn't know whether to put village cricket in there. I think I put it as one of the tags because I just what did I even title the video? Something to do with sledging. So I just hope people know what sledging is, or else everyone will be like, what is sledging? And it's not going down a sled. And I was like, ruined. Well, it is going down a sled as well. He said, hi, welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing well. Bulls kicked high, knocked on there. Unfortunately, not quite able to take it nicely. The Bulls now have the ball 45 metres out from the Sharks line. Looking to attack to the left-hand side. Another big run from Mako van Starren. We did see him a little bit in the Springbok kit, only very briefly, though. Go the Bulls, says Corne Burger. in there as well. Now it's gonna go high. I don't know what happened to me there. I kind of stuttered. It's gonna be put into touch. Sharks will have the line out from 40 out of their own line, and Kurt Learinsa didn't really get a lot of space for his first carry in this contest. So let's go Bulls. It's officially a World Cup. Yeah, how good that is true. We are only sitting about 250 days away from 2023's World Cup. And also know that was last year, Xavier. Or if you're talking cricket, it's almost every year at the moment, isn't it? They've got a Cricket World Cup. And also Happy New Year, Hamish from Triple H. Right back at you, mate. Might not quite be there yet in India, but you're getting close. And by the time it is, I don't think we'll be live on the channel. So be sure to enjoy 2023 when it comes around. This is a great rolling maul for the Sharks here. Off that line-out throw, put in by Bongi on Manambi. He now retrieves the ball at the back of the rolling maul, and they continue going forward by about 15 metres or so. Passes back across Kerwin Bosch. Nice link up. It looks like a player's gone down, acted like he got smacked in the face. I think he might have, but he didn't need to dive the way that he did. Kurt Learinsa gets nailed in the tackle by Kinko Fenta. Now inside of the 22, Ebenezer putting on plenty of pressure, Russian defence, and he was just onside by the sounds of it. And now, no option really for the Bulls here other than to kick this one into touch. Although it looks like Chris Smith has decided to go down the middle of the field instead. I don't believe that's the right option, as now the Sharks have got a counter-attacking opportunity. Nice run from Portskaita. Going off, Grant Williams. One more, Van Rensburg goes off. Two now, Nocia down the wing. Look for the pass to Grant Williams. Didn't quite get it. Knock-on advantage. The Bulls under huge pressure here, and they will be going back for the scrum. No, referee says play on just a little bit longer. Now Nokia has to play halfback, passes back across to Mako van Staren, who's also dropped the ball, but they will go back now for that original knock-on. And also we have got there, all love to cricket, but ain't it good to have some Ruggers Blues fans, says Nazi Williams. Yeah, Super Rugby only a couple months away, the Springbok World Cup, says Liston Go. And also, who's your team, says Ruan. I don't necessarily have a team out of all the South African sides, mainly because I guess it's easy to be impartial being from New Zealand, but I absolutely love watching them all play. Like, I'm very disappointed that I'm not going to be able to watch their game between the Stormers and the Lions. It is a 6 a.m. start time here in New Zealand. If I didn't have a family gathering tomorrow, I would 100% be staying up watching that game. But then we've also got to drive to Wanaka, so it's a bit of a venture. And that's not actually with the family, that is with George, who in some regards, I guess, could be considered as part of the family, the Kiwi Lads family, that is. Not taking the piss, I promise. It's just that here in Europe, when you say World Cup, it's 99% of the time the FIFA World Cup. You know that, mate, says Fletchen. He's a bull, of course, says Listen Go. All about to be put in. Why? Is it Vanderlind or Vanderlinde? Has it got the E on the end for the pronunciation? That's gone down in the front row. Now, something that the referees for 2023 are really going to be working on is keeping those scrums under 30 seconds. That's not very easy, though, because a lot of players take a while to get up. Anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. This is definitely not going to be the last live stream we do in 2023. In fact, we have probably got another 1,000 that we are doing, and that is not even an exaggeration. We did around that number in 2022, and we're going to be ready to go for another year now, seeing as it's 2023 and Narcissa is going for the Sharks. Hi, Hamish, hope you're well. It's being played at Kings Park, aka the Shark Tank. It certainly is. Yeah, it's going to be a tough game for the Bulls away from home, currently with a 3-0 lead. Themselves a nice penalty. Big push from the Sharks. Huge push. And that is going to be a penalty now, one for the home side. Only about 15 metres out from the line. Looked like they were considering the quick tap option. But instead, it will. I'd like to think they'll kick for the corner. Yes, Kerwin Bosch looks like he's lining it up. It's slightly heartbreaking though, Fletchen. They always assume you're talking about the football, never any other sport, says Sebastian. So what World Cups and whatnot have we got in 2023? I know we've got the ODI Cricket World Cup. We've got the Rugby Union World Cup. What have we got in terms of, we don't have Olympics. We don't have Commonwealth Games. Winter Olympics, or is it a Winter Olympics year, 2023? Is that what we've got? Or was that 2021? So that would still be a little bit further away. In fact, no, that would have been that's always on an even year, isn't it? Winter Commonwealth Games, is that a thing? I don't think it is. Okay, the ball says Ruan, and there as well. But Kerwin Bosch actually going to be lining up the 3 points. Now, I thought he initially pointed for touch. Thought the Sharks were willing to take a little bit more of a risk early on. And instead, seems like they do want to get back to equalised, which would make it a nice even 3 points to 3. Yeah, straight down the middle from Kerwin Bosch. 3 points all after only the 8 minutes. We're already a tenth of the way through this matchup, and Bulls must use the Springbok talent to full effect today. Says they've been struggling big time with their selection, haven't they, the Bulls? Because I know that the coach has been getting quite a bit of stick because for a start, he decided to go with sides that people didn't agree with for the Champions Cup. Then back in the URC, he assumed that by picking the sides that he wanted, it was going to end up with effective results. And it just didn't really for the Bulls, unfortunately. But now it's a big opportunity for them in this game up against the Sharks. If they win this, they'll still be relatively high on the URC table, whereas the Cheetahs in the world, says Ruan, I think at the moment they're taking part in the Challenge Cup, but they've also been in the Curry Cup more recently. Well, not more recently, sorry. I guess I should say for longer. They've been in the Curry Cup. They've been told to stay on the mark there. Referee almost getting a spray can out again just to show them exactly where to stand. It's going to be thrown short, only just goes the 5 metres, but Matan Zima claims it nicely. Ball's now 35 metres out from the Sharks line and a nice leg drive from Heinrich Low. Them a little bit closer. Short pass off. Ongyum Madumbi rolls out of the way of that one. That's going to be dropped backwards by Johan Grobbelaar. I feel like at the moment, Grobbelaar and Van Vieren for me are the two next hookers as a possibility for the Springboks, who aren't currently in the squad, that is. Like, don't get me wrong, Joseph Dweber, he's starting to play a little bit better, but I think it's out of those two in terms of who is the next option. Unless there's anyone else I'm forgetting. Who else have we got in terms of hookers around South Africa, ladies and gentlemen? And also, would you like to see Morné Steyn in the mix since Hulsen is at 15? I feel like it would be interesting to see that combination of Hulsen and also Morné Steyn. It seems to be that he's starting to step back a little bit more, Morné, and just allow himself in those big games rather than every single match, which you can kind of understand. At the end of the day, the man's about 39 and still going. It can piss you off a bit, Sebastian, especially in England. Can be different down in the land of song and tears. And 10, says Clipdrift. Is Bosch playing 15 or 10, Amish? He is playing at 10 for this one. And at number 15, they have got Chamberlain as their fullback option. The Stormers went with their best team in the Champions Cup and got 5 points. Bulls went with their C team and got 5. People complain too much before thinking, says Sim Slayer. And I know that the coach is getting a lot of stick at the moment for the Bulls. But it's a tricky one because sometimes the coach that you've got, even though he's getting some things wrong, of course, there are little selection blunders that they've had for the URC recently, but like if they win this game, I feel like a lot of people will be back to, oh yeah, no, he's all right. He'll do. Trying to go for the rolling maul here. At the moment, it looks like it's gone down again, only 10 metres out from the line, but the Bulls managed to wrestle it out in the hands of number 10, or sorry, number 12, actually. Harold Forster got that one. Now passed back across Marco van Starren, trying to bulldoze his way through Jansie van Rensburg. Or Jansie van Rensburg, sorry. Around the side, Grobbelaar, he's dropped the ball now for the second time in the early stages of this match, but they did have the advantage, so they will now be able to possibly go for another 3 points if they want it. And Clipdrift has got the 10, and also 2023, the year Ian Foster will finally get the sack. Says Sebastian, there's a possibility, but then here's a plot twist, or a massive, massive plot twist to the story. What if the All Blacks somehow win the World Cup? Does Ian Foster then get fired after being a successful World Cup winner? Or does he get his job for a little bit longer? It's going to be so funny if that happens because no one will know what to think. Like everyone who's hated Ian Foster the whole way through will be like, right, it's time, even though he's won us the World Cup, the biggest and most prestigious thing ever, for rugby wise. That's a massive run from Martin Zima. He might have just gone down. Of course, first they need to win the World Cup, which is not easy to do. Definitely with some of the giants in the rugby world at the moment. Apparently, Mornay Stain's nephew, Kaka Stain, is on his way down. Says Nazi Williams, and Johan, come on now, says Simpsley, and go the Bulls, says Willem, and go the Sharks, says Narcissa. Martin Zima, I think they're going to be going upstairs to check this one. My first initial reaction was just a little bit of grounding. So he might be all right. And Bosch should be the next 10 for the box, says, was Johan there? Oh, John, question. Kerwin Bosch, or would you go Mani Labok? Because I know that seems to be the two that people are juggling between. Willems gets the mention every once in a while, but then also alongside that, they've still got Andre Pollard when he returns. Right, this camera's just not quite in the right. Oh, actually, now from that angle, it looks like there's a hand under that. I might have just been able to hold it up. And of course, you still fire him to make the euphoria even more intense, says Sebastian. And Ronaldo for his new team is getting £200 million per year, 16 million per month, 3 million per week. And we call rugby fans, and we rugby fans call anything over 300k great money. Yeah, he's on insane money at the moment, Ronaldo. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he goes, whether or not he's kind of a star of the show or whether he just kind of takes a slightly backwards step and just chills. And Pollard's the man. There's Nazi Williams, right. It's going to be no try held up. So that will now be a goal line dropout for the Sharks. So that is very nicely done. That child is extremely happy with that. And as a Sharks fan, I still rate Labok way higher than Kerwin. His hands are just silky, says the wig. I guess the good news with Labok, if he does end up getting that 10 eventually, having Damien Willems at number 15, I feel like that's that Stormers connection, and that can be quite handy. Because he will gracefully retire, Hamish, says John Mills. Although it depends on what kind of contract New Zealand Rugby offer him, because everyone said that he would graciously resign when they started losing all of their games. And Ian was just going, no, I'm going to buy a mansion because I'm getting paid way too much for what I'm doing. Is it raining? I don't think so. So unfortunately for Johan Rommela, he can't use that as his excuse of why he's been dropping the ball so often. Another penalty goes against this time, Sia Khaleesi. 3 points on offer if they want it. It's about, I'd say, 30 metres out, and looks like Chris Smith will this time be taking it on. And Mani Labok, no-brainer. Pollard looks a bit tired at the moment. Says listen, go. And also, Bosch as understudy to Pollard, says John Mills. And I guess the good news at the moment for South Africa is they're stacked with talent at fly half. And whether those are guys who look like they need 1 or 2 more years before they really hit their peak, or whether it's like those young up-and-coming guys who maybe give them 5 years and all of a sudden they could be right there. Like you look at some of the younger guys, Jordan Hendrickse, I think give him a few more years and he might be in contention for a Bok jersey. Chris Smith, still a bit of a 50-50 in my mind. How old is Chris Smith? Because he kind of looks like he could be like 12, but also about 38. How old is Chris Smith? He's got that kick over anyway. Chris Smith, no, there's too many Chris Smiths. Chris Smith is a very common name. Chris Smith Rugby. There we go. We'll get what we need to get. How old is he? He's 28 years old. So he's getting up there a little bit in terms of, I know they'd much rather maybe stick with the ones that they've got in the moment, adding Labok in, maybe Kerwin Bosch, and then, yeah, just a wait and see type thing. And also, I take the 3 Chris, but Pollard can kick the from everywhere, says Nazi Williams. And that might be where Jordan Hendrickse comes into play as well for the Springboks with that long boot. All being told to use it. Managed to just get Eben Etzebeth out of the way, but it's going to become a penalty to the Sharks. I think this is going to be another 3 points. Who would have predicted that we were going to see 3 after 3 after 3 between these two sides? Probably a few people that probably thought it was going to be a stalemate relatively early on. Maybe Slack, hit that like button, says Jay, you heard the man. If you haven't already, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. No, don't describe, subscribe. The other option. And also we have got there, come on Bulls. And also Robert Duprea will be my first choice, solid physical fly half. Did I say that correctly? Is it Duprea or is that Duprezi? Does it normally have the E on the end, Andrew? Do let me know. I'm still a little bit rough with some of my pronunciations of Afrikaans names. So Kerwin's going to be taking on 3. Once again here for the Sharks. 16 minutes has absolutely flown by. Jordan Hendrickson, Gianni Lombard, Manny Lebok, and other Sharks fullback. Says Simslayer. Other Sharks fullback, I assume that's Biota Chamberlain. Is that other option? So yeah, plenty at the moment. And this is a question for you fellas from South Africa. Of course, as a Kiwi, I can only learn so much in terms of certain positions, depth and whatnot. So out of all the positions for the Springboks, where do you think currently, as they sit today, is where they lack the most depth for a position? It's going to be a 3-pointer once again, so that will make the score 6-6. Because for me, to an extent, from an outside point of view, I feel like once Damien Dialende is gone, and maybe once Esterhazen, depending on whether they select him or not, or if he's injured, who's that next 12? Probably my other question. They could go for Limsa though, so they're probably all right there. Number 10 says Clipdrift. And Boyota is inconsistent. Says Z there. 10 as well, says Dan. Fullback without Willie. We kind of look a little stale, says Davig. Or Davig. Hopefully I said that correctly. And where's Ruth? She loves all the players, says Nuzzy. We're also sure she'll pop in at some stage throughout this one. So yeah, it seems to be 10 or 12, 13, and 15. So it seems to actually be a lot of the positions in the back. And I guess that's because we always know South Africa are going to be creating, or I guess establishing, new massive forwards to go in that pack. Because, you look at the lock, or actually, no, to an extent, I would say lock. No, once you lose Eben Etzebeth, Ludiacha, and also, to an extent, Franco Mostert, would you say that Marvin Ori, Salman Mora, and all of those guys are up to that same standard of being as physically dominating as what we've seen from Eben Etzebeth and whatnot in the past? It's going to be chipped in behind Cannon Moody. The ball sits up for the youngster, and he will be able to get the first try of the match for the Bulls. It was just a stock standard backline movement, the chip in behind, and Moody gets that ball to sit up absolutely superbly for him and gets himself the first try of the day. I thought she liked Mitchell Johnson. She likes a lot of men, Jay. And of course, she shows up now, says Sebastian. And also, we have got there in the chat. If you want a place to watch the Rugby World Cup this year, then you're in the right place. Subscribe and join. And all the fun banter and the in-betweens. Let's make this year on the Kiwi Lads one to remember, says Xavier. And yeah, we've got plenty coming up in the near future. That is for sure. Greens from Cape Town. Hopefully, you're having a blast there, guys and gals, says Aroof. We certainly are. Definitely with that try. Very skillful one from Cannon Moody at number 12. You can hit, or you can also hit him for Ryan Janssen van Rensburg. That is true. I know that there's been a few other players that have been consistent, but have they been consistently at that top level? I feel like there's a few, though. Van Rensburg would be a good option. Maybe. Harold Foster, I feel like, has also done pretty well over the last little while, but it's whether or not he's up to that level type thing. And also we have got there, Ruiz can play 4 and 5. And Kennedy Tim was a great team for the Cheetahs. Never got a bot cap, I think, Hamish, says John. Nice one, Bull. The Sharks sock it to them big time, says Ruth, but it's kicked off long, nicely taken. And I should mention the kick was successful. So the score now sits at 13 points to 6 in favour of the away side. A nice one, the Bulls. They've been told to use it inside of their own 22. It's a high Eben Etzebeth, unable to get that charge down. Just gliding or drifting through the air. Sia Khaleesi cleans it up now, gives it off to Makazole Mapimpi, his first start of the day, but gives it straight away to Kerwin Bosch. Wants the offload to Chamberlain. A lot of pressure being put on by the Bulls here. Just forcing the Sharks right back into their own territory. Now nice quick hands from Lukanyuam. Makazole Mapimpi on the outside. Gives it to Khaleesi with the one-handed pickup. The Sharks captain flying down the wing. 10 metres out. Bongion Benambi has knocked that ball on majorly. I don't know whether surely he was expecting it. He was first receiver, but it's given the Bulls half a chance to get out of their own 22, and it's going to be the penalty to them. I have my doubts for Cannon. Recently glad he scored a try. However, Cannon misses tackles a lot. I can feel Gareth's blood pressure soaring He won't be a happy lad, says Sebastian. And also we have got, is this a league or country matches? So this is a league match, I guess you could call it. It's part of the United Rugby Championship competition, which does persist of, oh, was that a no arms tackle from Cannon Moody, the way that he went down there? But yeah, the teams in it are from South Africa, Ireland, Scotland, Wales, and Italy. I think that's all the teams. Did I miss anyone? I don't think so. I think I got everyone in there. But yeah, it's going to be an exciting one to see who actually comes out as the #1 side in the URC. Last year it was the Stormers. This year they're making a pretty decent run early on in the comp. I think a South African side will definitely find themselves close to that final. If not, take out the whole thing. I miss you wonderful folks. How's the game going? Nice clean run of rugby. Hamish, go rocket, baby, says Ruth. Yeah, it's going pretty well so far. We've seen a try from the Bulls. Both sides will be searching for that bonus point, and alongside that, I think we will see now more attacking play from the Sharks because they do find themselves at 7 points down, and another penalty actually goes against them. That time, Bongi on Benambi penalised again. Or was it actually, it might have been Hinkov Fenta here. Looks like they marked back 10. Was it Bongi or Fenta who said something bad to the ref? Okay, this is now your official warning, is the comment from the referee. We have got the Happy New Year, man. Here's to more collabs in 2023, says Rugby Itch. Yeah, 2023. It's come around way quicker than expected, but we're going to have to do plenty of prediction videos throughout the year. And with the World Cup around the corner, I think we're going to be pretty busy. And come on the Sharks, says Andrew. Do you miss Ireland? Did I miss Ireland? I thought I snuck Ireland in there. I thought I went South Africa, Ireland. I thought they were my second team. You think the Chiefs can win the Super Rugby this season? I like what the Chiefs have been doing, but I don't know if they've got, don't get me wrong, if they get through to those playoff games, good chance. Just because they seem to really enjoy playing in those big matches. They struggled in the final of Super Rugby Aotearoa up against the Crusaders, but on any given day, that Chiefs side does look very strong. But I don't know if this year is their year or whether it's going to be someone else do manage to get it. More than likely, it will be Crusaders right up there again, and everyone will be trying to get them off their throne. It's going to be brilliantly stolen by the Sharks. Clear turnover, then a little bit of illegal stuff on the ground. Ron Mucker van Staren, hands in the ruck, penalty against him. And as I said, Ireland says Jay, and Sharks should bite today. Nuzzy Williams, how your side going? Eating cheesy popcorn and apple cider with chocolate for pudding. Geez, that's a bit of a meal and a half, isn't it? Who don't love a bit of chocolate for their dessert, though? Why isn't Colby playing for the Stormers? I don't think he ended up signing in the end for the Stormers, did he? He was almost there, but then he felt that, I don't know the full story, but it was something to do with an unsafe something. He said that he just didn't feel like it was going to be safe for his family. Is that right, ladies and gentlemen? I don't want to say stuff just in case it's wrong, but I think it was something along those lines. And also, he knocked it out of his hands. That's why he dropped a fantastic game. What a difference in this game and the Italy game before this, says Richard. And Colby is still at Toulouse. Nicely taken by Ebenezer 40 metres out from the line. Now the Sharks once again try and get this one rolling forward, just like they did not too long ago. Grobler kind of looked like one of those inflatable men outside of a car dealership. The way he was just limply driving around that rolling mall. Now Grant Williams receives it. First receiver here, Yancey Funds Rensburg. Good carry, moves up to the halfway line for the Sharks. Now Grant Williams, little knock on there, I think. Let us play on just for now. Look on your arm. Gets back to Bjorta Chamberlain. Good hand from Makazolima Pimpy. Trying to get round Cornell Hendricks. Nice tackle made by the Bulls halfback though. Now Gobran Grob. His name I said with a lot of emphasis on that first G. Big run from Thomas the Toy. Grant Williams goes off to Bosch. Chamberlain looks for the pass. Doesn't find Puitgaita, who's now under a huge amount of pressure from the Bulls. Two players in there. Oh, Chris Smith was very close to getting that turnover. And also we have got there in the chat, I miss the Super Rugby with the South African sides. I think a lot of people do. Like, it was always exciting seeing a New Zealand side travel to South Africa and play in those really tough conditions. Same with South Africa traveling to New Zealand. Just had that special feeling with those matches. Nicely taken by Johan Horsen. Sharks need to make sure that their discipline certainly improves in the later stages of this first half alongside the second 40. They've already given away, they've won a penalty there, but yeah, they've already given away about 6 penalties in the early stages. I think Colby wants to get his family a dual citizenship. And you're right about Colby Savage, a good crime out of control, says listen go. And also no, Colby is at Toulon and Sharks are struggling. Oh yeah, of course he actually transferred. I was going to say transform, but that's not quite the right word. But yeah, actually moved a couple seasons back, didn't he? I don't miss more teams smashing us Aussie side, says Xavier Brown. I hope Australia do pretty well this year in Super Rugby. Like, I've always said this about a few of the Australian sides. They've got quite a bit of talent. It's just sometimes in those matches up against New Zealand, they don't seem to quite be able to find a way of countering. But if they can somehow do that, I would think maybe if it's not too much of a jinx, you always talk about bold predictions. I would say that a few of the Australian sides are going to be able to pick up a few wins this year. That was very unspecific, but I guess it also means that it couldn't really be wrong as long as a few sides win. And how's playing? Has he recovered from his injury? He is a fantastic 13, in my opinion. I think a lot of people would agree with you there, with him being a fantastic number 13. Very unlucky to miss out on Player of the Year for the last few, but yeah, he's looking good. Overall, we're not seeing a huge amount of him, but I believe that injury has 100% recovered. And now it's just all about, I guess, maintaining that health right up until the World Cup when it does come around. Question to everyone, which of the South African sides are best at full strength, says Richard. Ooh, it's a good question. And also, we look at that even with the quota system, we are beating good teams. Yes, get it. And Aussie sides are good, but any injuries we're stuffed. New Zealand's depth is miles above us. I agree with that too. I mean, we saw it for Australia. How many injuries? Like 21 injuries they had for that end of year tour, which was just crazy to think that it could go that high for a team. They had a whole team worth of players out. And so what subjects will the family discuss during the gathering? Can it involve or divulge them? It's a fancy word. What topics? I mean, we played a little bit of backyard cricket today, or like front yard cricket, I guess it was. It was in the front paddock of the farm. So it was a nice enough occasion. The mosquitoes were going absolutely insane there. I feel like I'm struggling to say words. I don't know whether it's a 2023 thing or if it's just a me thing at the moment. But tomorrow, I think we're going to be planting a tree for my granddad. So that will be a nice little touch. I think they're also going to be burying his and my grandma's ashes in the same go. So that's why quite a few of the family are down there. Actually, most of them are staying the night out at the farm, which is quite cool. And also, basically, who's getting disowned is what I'm asking, says Sebastian. I think at this stage, I'm still slightly in the loop. I don't think I've quite been disowned yet. Some of the older family members still don't know what YouTube is. So, Mum describing, he sits in the lounge and just talks to himself with the camera and people listen to him. Like, that's a weird concept. And it's still, like, even in 2023, it still seems weird to even me. And I do it. That's another mistake, unfortunately, in this one. So it looks like we are going to have ourselves a scrum. A little mistake there. And it just got knocked on out the side. And also with his mate George, says Jay, yeah. Well, even me saying that I was going to Wanaka with George sounded a bit weird. But then they thought that we were going to go and get pissed for New Year's, but New Year's is tonight. So I don't think there'll be much pissing. Pissing up, I should say. We'll probably have to drink a lot of liquid, so there might be some pissing. But, yeah, probably more just hanging around Wanaka, seeing how it goes. And the quota system, let's get it. There's Neil there. That's going to be a big push from the Sharks. They get themselves the penalty, taken quickly by Grant Williams. He's got men in support. Notchia decides not to use the man on his outside. Moves to 10 metres out from the line. Grant Williams off to Henko Fenter. Looks like the Sharks have just put it into 100. That's going to be an advantage. And now stolen. Penalty goes the way of the Sharks once again. And also, we've got the injury and recovery are part of the game. Hamish, why do they have the Australian Institute of Sport? They're in Canberra then, says John Mills. It is a part of the game, of course, but you also don't want to have 50 injuries. It does make it tricky. I should mention that currently the Sharks are on 9 points, not 6. They did have a few. What was the big fella up to tonight, New Year's Eve? Face and get the GoPro out. I mean, I think he's having a quiet night, to be honest. If I didn't have the family gathering today, we would have probably gone up to Wanaka today or yesterday instead. But yeah, so we're going to be going up this afternoon after with family gathering. They're just checking this one for Sia Khaleesi with that pass. Seeing whether Cannon Moody knocked it down deliberately. And also we've got there, Khaleesi means nothing, as in like Afrikaans, like translated to English, Morne, I assume you're talking about. He passed out then. Maybe, yeah, he might be sleeping at the moment, believe it or not. Because all the Irish workers, they've already gone to Queenstown. So he can't drink with them. So it's probably just a quiet evening in. Just chilling. I'd assume that he is asleep by now. If he's not, I might have to do some driving tomorrow to Wanaka. I don't get the complaints about the quota system. If you are a bigot, just say so. Rassi said before they pick a quota player, there are 3 white players selected first. Says Garrett, says Simp. And Khaleesi, good player, man. He is indeed. And come on the Bulls, hold on. Right. Player taking a quick tap. Cynical infringement. Okay, this sounds like it's going to be a penalty try and a yellow card. I need number 14. That's going to be Cannon Moody. So unfortunately, he scored a try down the other end. It's going to be a yellow card now, and it's a penalty try. So he scored one at one end, conceded one at the other end. Quite an eventful day so far from. I would never want to be in a car with George driving. He's not too bad. Like, he's not great, but he is in a way, if that makes sense. Like, he can seem like he's being reckless, but he knows how to handle a vehicle, if that makes sense. Like, believe it or not, yes, he's probably one of the least safe drivers out of the group, but like he just still, you don't feel in danger when you're in the vehicle, if that makes sense. I think he probably feels like I think he's got to the stage of where I'm driving, he just doesn't care anymore. He just sits there. I think his comment when this is an accident, by the way. Do not do this. We accidentally went round a corner going to Daniels a bit too quick. It was gravel, and we slightly got a little bit of not quite a drift, but a slight little slide going. And his comment, like, he's so casual about it. His comment was, we went off the road, like, we were just going to hit grass. That was while I was driving, so it's like, yeah, it's all right. And since then, I go slow around corners. Because like I went the speed that the sign said, it was just really loose. The shingle, that is. I'd rather be in a tractor with him. Oh, his tractor rides would be very fun. That's a Kiwi Lads vlog that we're going to have to do, isn't it? And also, what a way to end 2022, says Jack. Yeah, 2 South African derbies. Doesn't get too much better than that. And also, that Cardman 22 guy went right at a roundabout. I heard about that. That he went the slightly wrong way. It looked like the shorter option, I guess. And you Kiwi lads are all nutters, says Nazi Williams. We're all unique in our own ways, aren't we? As the group, scrum feed currently for the Bulls on the 22-metre line. By the way, Happy New Year, Hamish and everyone else, says Aiden. Happy New Year to you too, mate. Hopefully 2023 brings you a very non-stressful year. Khaleesi is a great player and an even better motivator in the box, in my opinion, Hamish. Yeah, he's really stepped up his game over the last couple of years, I feel. Now, Kerwin Bosch, Sharks actually able to get themselves another scrum turnover. Not the first time in this match. Deep inside of the 22 now. I believe that was Cornell Hendricks just has to boot it downfield. He's actually got a very good kick away there. And we go Chica hunting at the Wanaka Lake. Not on purpose. I don't think that's the plan anyway. We're just going, like, Daniel's going to be there for the second day. It should be a lot of fun. That's the thing. When it's mid-20s or like early 20s go away to like a tourism attraction. Most of the time, they'd be looking for girls and whatnot, you know, looking for some flings. Me and George were like, should we go to the driving range and see how far we can hit a golf ball? We just think differently. Although George, I'm sure he'll be thinking about that the whole time anyway. We're staying in a nice house though, so who knows? It's all going to be on a Kiwi Lads vlog for New Year's, eh? Gotta love it. Like, Khaleesi's a great player and even better. I know I read that one. And why do you think these national teams like Wales and England did appoint the Razor Robertson? Says Simper, please update the score, Hamish. It's a bit behind, isn't it? They're currently having a water break. There we go. So we've got the Sharks in the lead, 14 points to 13. Playing a bit of Bon Jovi at the ground. They're playing while we're halfway there. Unfortunately, though, we're not quite. 34 minutes through this match rather than the 40. Are the Sharks on 16 or on 14? You can show the game. We know the players. There's the gaming. Unfortunately, due to licensing, any match footage or audio gets you taken straight off YouTube. And the last way we want to start 2023 is getting a copyright strike. So sadly, we are unable to show match footage. I believe if you're in Ireland, you can actually watch this game completely for free. So I do recommend checking out that. And also, have you had a beer or some champagne to celebrate? No, I had a Sprite. Sprites aren't terrible. Seem like a good idea. Looks like the Sharks. Kanyo Arm's got to go get that ball. A little bit of a weird moment. Like they're just saying they don't know why the whistle went, but the penalty has gone the way of the Sharks and sitting on a Priya Jovi, says Nazi Williams. Okay, yep. Contact in the air penalty at line out time. 45 metres out. Sharks might consider kicking this to the corner, and they do. That's a good call because I don't think they're going to beat the Bulls with just 3-pointers. Seems like they're being relatively aggressive at the moment, the VODACOM Bulls away from home. So some good points to pick up. And we know the players show the game, says Jay. And there as well. Quite the combo, isn't it? Neil Powell recently appointed as Sharks head coach after doing brilliant things with the Blitzbox 7 side. Well, now currently, they're not going terribly. They're starting to find their momentum again. Of course, just around the corner, what an offload that is for Sia Khaleesi. What I was going to say is the Hamilton Sevens not too far away. There's an advantage at the moment going the way of the Sharks. They're 5 metres out. Who wants that? Bongium Manambi. It's tackled low by Matanzima. Now, ball available again. Thomas the Toy will be the man this time who has a bit of a carry. Or does he? Yes, he does. Like he was going to be considering going for that little offload to the side. Decided against it in the end. Now going to the right-hand side, Ebenezer taking down the big man. Still 5 metres between the Sharks and their second try of this matchup. They are still playing with a man advantage, and they've still got a penalty advantage at the moment too. Now moving within the 2 metres. Bongi Umbanumbi around the side. I think he needed to pass that. He's been driven backwards. Grant Williams now goes up to Kerwin Bosch. Looks for the cross kick. Has it got anyone on it? Makazoli Mapipi unable to take it, and they'll be going back now for the initial penalty again. And 27% of antelopes can't escape lions when they're attacked. Show the game. Is that right? Is that actually a stat? 27% of antelopes just not quite able to get away. It's a shame for those ones, isn't it? The other 73 are laughing as they're going away. And the Bulls must set up defence and position, says Alfie. And this will tell you how much rugby has changed. This is the I match, or the I rugby match played in South Africa on New Year's Eve, says Richard. But yeah, the fact that they've got 2 games that are both South African derbies on New Year's Eve for South Africans, it's absolutely awesome. I don't know, I made that up. Well, now I'm curious. I feel like it's an interesting stat. I think it's more 50-50. I thought you drunk Bundaberg mangoes, Hamish. I did, but I haven't had any of those the last few days. Like instead, I just had a can of Sprite. I guess that's my new one. It'd be even clutch if I got that right, though. But I guess how do you calculate it? Like, did they like drop 100 mangoes, or not mangoes, sorry, antelopes into like an area, and the lions tried to catch them all? It's a true story. I know the antelopes. Show the 5 metres out now. Grant Williams Big push, another advantage for the Sharks, and 3 minutes left in the first half. Passed off to the Lukanyu, rough pass again, and they'll go back for another penalty. I think we're not too far off seeing maybe another Bulls yellow card. At 4:30 a.m. in Auckland, New Zealand, January the 1st, 2023. Okay, time for a beer. Depends. Have you been to sleep, Nazi? Because if you haven't been to sleep, it's probably still not too bad of a time to have a bevy. But that's going to be another yellow card for the Bulls here by the sounds of it. The Sharks extremely close to the line. Maybe just got himself down over. Nope. They're going to be going back. They'll blow the whistle. Yellow card. This time it will be Kyle Brink who does go to the bin. Okay, they've just said repeated infringements. You're the unlucky one was the comment from the ref. And I was like, please show gameplay. I cannot show anything, unfortunately, because of copyright. If I was to show any match footage or audio, we get taken straight down. The highlights will be up on YouTube straight after the match. Also, alongside that, there are other options. DSTV in South Africa, you go to be able to watch it. You can buy a UFC part or a URC pass to be able to watch certain matches rather than the whole group. And I also can't show any footage, lads. Says Sebastian, didn't John Plumtree used to coach the Sharks, Hamish? I think so. Was it the Sharks? It was definitely a South African team, wasn't it? And the Bulls on 2 yellows. They are. So this is going to be a very tough patch for them. 1 minute 1 minute 20 left of this first half. Grant Williams about to feed the ball in for the Sharks here. Who've already had multiple scrum penalties in their favour. They'll be looking for another one here. Yep, dominant scrum. Mornay Smith pops up. He's going, what was I supposed to push against? Grant Williams just snipes, scores the try for the Sharks. And they now get a little bit more of a lead heading into halftime. And discipline isn't good at this stage, says Alfie. Yeah, both sides giving away a lot of penalties, but the Bulls giving away the worst of them. And ending up now with 13 men out on the field up against the Sharks side who scored their second try. They'll be looking for that bonus point, which is only another cup away. And yes, they are on 2 yellows. And 16 the Sharks should be on, says Barry. And there's although now they're on 21 after that try off Grant Williams. Just pierced his way around Chris Smith. Fell over the line. He does pick up the try while having a bloody cotton wool dangling from his nose, which did look very nice indeed. And discipline ain't a big factor in South Africans rugby, respectfully, of course, says Nazi Williams. You can easily stream the game on Haha Sports. I haven't heard of Haha Sports in all my time streaming. There's a new one. Don't get a virus is the best bit of advice I can give you. Right. Kevin Bosch. I said that very weirdly, but Kerwin Bosch now about to line up this kick. Anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Go start a stream then, Neil. Says the Jay, and also that nose tampon almost popped out. Says Mimania. It's gone over. That'll make the score now 23 points to 13. Now with just one last kickoff of the half. I would think more than likely the Bulls here. They're trying. I don't know what you do. You kick off long and you hope the Sharks kick it into touch, I think is the best way of describing it. We have got Dino in the chat. As said, hi, fella. Welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing very well. Sharks currently 10 points up after the Bulls had themselves a bit of an early lead. Another red card for Zebra today. And still they won this year. Or it's still 2 win this year. Lost 11 out of 11, unfortunately. And sadly, they've had some close ones. That's gone way too long. Is that going to be... Yeah, there you go. Okay, the referee told Chris Smith, you can't kick it dead or out. Chris Smith then decided he'd kick it dead. So now the Sharks are going to have to scrum on the halfway line. That's a big mistake because rather than the Sharks having to attack from their 22, if they were going to be looking for it, now they can attack from halfway and use this extra 2-man advantage to their advantage. Again, and I hope the Bulls turn the game around in the second half, says Alfie. No, what a day, says Dino. And who's the ref, Hamish? The dwarf Jaco Piper? No, he's not Jaco Piper. Who is this ref? I've seen him before. I can't think of his name, though. He reffed a game last week. What is the referee's name? I'm sure someone will be able to tell me straight away. I can't think of it off the top of my head. In fact, he might not have actually refereed a game last week, but he does look familiar. Now it is going to be once again the Sharks on attack. Lukanyu Getting close to the touchline, but still keeping it just in the field of play. The Sharks here once again looking to absolutely make the most of the two-man advantage. Grobler driven down in the tackle. Was the tackle by Juan Vermaak. Nice offload from Thomas Tatoy. Found the ball to Notchia, who also looks for the offload. Slapped down. That's deliberate. That's going to be possibly another yellow card. Curtly Aronsa. No attempt to catch it. This might be a... Wait, if there's no chance of catching it, surely that's pretty cynical. And thanks for the stream, mate. Here's Conrad. No worries at all, mate. Thank you very much for being here. And Zebre at halftime led 17 points to 7 at halftime. And also we have got there then that suffered the most catastrophical collapse I've seen in recent times. Sharks kicking for the corner. I apologise for the yawns, ladies and gentlemen. It is currently 4:36 a.m. here in New Zealand. So there might be the occasional one that does slightly sneak through. Marius van der Vesterhuizen. There's Sebastian and Marius van der Vesterhuizen. There's there, and he's from South Africa, but can't think of the name either. There's Richard. I think it's Marius van der Vesterhuizen, if I had to guess. Only 10 points difference. The Sharks trying to make this one out of reach for the Bulls in the second half. Did you hear what happened to Benetton, Amish? Not really. I know that people have mentioned Benetton recently, but I haven't looked into it just yet. Now, another rolling ball chance. Heinrich Lowe has been told to get out of there, and he's got in there. So that's going to be another advantage to the Sharks. Grant Williams goes off to Lukanyuam. Now rush defense. Kerwin Bosch white ball out to Chamberlain. Makazole Mapimpi tries to step. He gets round one. Hit on by Cornell Hendricks. Takes him down 5 meters. Out from the line now, another step from Lukanyuam. Gives it off now, Henko Fenta. Currently 44 minutes through this first half. Janssen van Rensburg. Now another attack. I can't believe how long this first half is going to go for. This is going to go for 50 minutes if they're not careful here, because they're still playing under advantage. See, Khaleesi, no advantage, just in case that old one was going to run out. Now Grant Williams goes off to Kerwin Bosch. Pass behind Makazole Mapimpi, who knocks the ball on, and it will be going back for another penalty. He's a Cape Town boy, and good answer, boss. There's Sebastian. You know, so he's going to penalise the Bulls to hell and gone. Says Mimania. Right, they're going to be from about 10 metres out from the line. In fact, closer to 5. And I believe, once again, we are going to see them kick for the corner. There's another one. And Benetton won today. That's what you mean, says Richard. Okay, they're just talking through that one of Heinrich Lowe. Thought he was penalised for. Kerwin Bosch kicks it into touch, and this will really be sapping the gas tank of the Bulls as well. Playing with 13 men up against the side who are consistently just attacking your line. Another Ron Banana story. No idea of that one. Now, Makazole Mapimpi, he'll be looking for this ball. That might be another advantage, is it? No. It's going to be play on just for now, but the rolling ball of the Sharks looking strong. Umbanambi at the back, hanging on to it, waiting for that chance to break off the side. 1 meter from the line. He goes round. He goes over. And Bongi Umbanambi gets himself one of the easiest tries that he will score of the URC season. And Chris Smith placed his team under this unnecessary pressure. There's some Slayer. They did, yeah. If he didn't kick that one out on the full, maybe we wouldn't have seen this extra 3 or 4 minutes of attacking. And as Moodian, he will be now, but they had to wait a very long time before they were able to bring him back from the bin. It wasn't a case of the knob chief. It's another yawn. That's 3 in a row. I'm going to have to start slapping myself soon. I'm not even tired. That's the worst thing about it. I think it's just I'm staring right at that light. And live game, please, says Steve. Steve, unfortunately, due to licensing, we're unable to show any match footage or audio, but I can highly recommend checking out the URC YouTube channel. Straight after this game, you'll be able to see all the highlights. It's already 40 minutes down in the contest. So, yeah, not too far away from the highlights being up on YouTube. But anyone who is new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. We are only 19 away from 21,400. If you do want to help us out, start 2023 off to an absolute flyer, be sure to hit that subscribe button. And see if you got jokes, man. Says Nuzzy Williams. That's how I imagine you say it. You got jokes, man. Just a very calm. That's the thing. Do you guys ever think about the fact that out of everyone who watches these streams, you have all heard my voice, but for a major majority of you guys, I haven't heard yours. Something to think about for the halftime break, but that is going to be halftime now with that try being scored and the conversion being successful. It is now sitting 30 points to 13 in favour of the home side. And see what country are you from? It looks like Grant Williams is putting pressure on Jaden Hendrickson for the Sharks 9. And also Stevie can't show the game, or another 27% of the antelope will be eaten by lions and die. Says Jay, exactly right. And I'm from South Africa, so I think your best bet will be more than likely DSTV, unfortunately. And also, what are you watching on, being over in New Zealand? So we have got these games on Spark Sport, which is quite cool. It's a little bit unfortunate in a way because it is split licensing, so we get to see the URC on Spark, whereas we have to watch the other rugby that's being shown on Sky. But yeah, luckily they show every single game that involves the South African side. Imagine if you heard the voices of 5 of your regular viewers in one day. Be a lot to handle, says Sebastian. It would be. But it would be interesting as well. And how much yellow card time remains for the Bulls. So I believe the second yellow card will be up in about 7 minutes' time. The first one is already up now, coming back out onto the field for the second half. Cannon Moody will be there with the side. Losing the game because of poor discipline is not it, says Sim Slayer. And I'm tuning in from New Zealand, 4:45 a.m. Munted off my face. Happy New Year, says Gareth Brown. I hope you do recover well for the 1st of January. Hopefully your New Year's resolutions, whatever they may be, do get accomplished. In fact, now that we are very close, while we're at halftime, what is everyone's New Year's resolution? If you had to pick one, what's the goal for 2023, ladies and gentlemen? And I was like, God knows how we sound in your head, says Sebastian. Well, there's a few guesses I've got overall. Like for you, I know you mentioned how you got a bit of an English accent with a bit of a European flair in there type thing. In terms of the pitch of your guys' voices, I don't know whether you guys talk way down here or whether you're way up here. I have no idea which part of the scale it's on. What a wonderful halftime, Sharks. It was extremely super rugby, says Michelle. Be more tolerant with pregnant ladies. Okay, can I sound like Samuel L. Jackson, please? I don't think it's like 3 wishes with the genie, but oh no, I've realized I thought that was your New Year's resolution. Samuel L. Jackson. Be a fun voice to have for you, Jay, wouldn't it? I feel like now in my head I'm going to be reading out all of your messages in Samuel L. Jackson's voice. Gee, Gareth, that's us, says Nazi Williams. Do you think the box should try a Fuff List 9 squad? Enrica Williams and Reinach. Reinach will be the experienced veteran. It's tricky because, you know, you don't want to lose all of your experience in one go, but then you also, I wouldn't mind if they had de Klerk just as a coming off the bench option, or maybe just with the squad with that experience. I watch more Kiwi lad rugger, says listen go. And also the Bulls are as bad as the Proteas. What a disaster, says Polly Bear. And we should mention we are actually going to be covering the Proteas game up against Australia. It starts on about the 4th of January here in New Zealand. We will be back from our little short holiday by then, and we'll be back rearing to go. But yeah, I'm excited for this holiday because I think I'm going to be taking the laptop and I am going to be also editing while we're down there. This is very loud in my ears, even though I haven't like refreshed the page. I've just decided to turn the volume up to like 150 because it's half time. Seems a bit strange. Currently in this one, we've seen a lot of penalties actually against both sides, but the Bulls have been the more cynical of the two sides, I guess you could say, with the fact they've ended up with 2 yellow cards. One for a deliberate knockdown, which led to a yellow card and a penalty try. And then also alongside that, we did see the most recent try, the most recent yellow card did go against Kyle Brink. It was just more of the case of the repeat infringements. He was the player who gave away the wrong one. Is there any way to watch this game live on YouTube? Sadly not, mainly because anyone who tries to stream it on YouTube gets taken straight down off YouTube. And Yeah, they're normally pretty quick with it, the URC, unfortunately. So yeah, they don't really allow any footage, but the highlights will be on YouTube. So that is an option, being able to watch the highlights rather than the full matchup. I hope to get more out of 2023 because of COVID. I've not been out for 3 years, says Richard. So yeah, hopefully you do get to go out and about for 2023. Should be an exciting year. And we got the Rugby World Cup coming up. It is only about 8 months away or 9 months away. So that will be a World Cup that answers a lot of questions. And then it gets a little bit weird because then we're 4 years from the next one. And to think of that is kind of strange because we started this channel posting consistently in 2020, just after the last Rugby World Cup. So we're going to have a full cycle from watching a World Cup to analyzing that World Cup to then having 4 more years of guessing up until the next one takes place in 2027. I think by 2027, one of my New Year's resolutions would definitely be get a comfier chair because this one, don't get me wrong, it's all right, but I feel like I need to find a nice balance where the chair's not that comfy that you want to fall asleep, but also it's comfier so that you don't have to pretty much crack your back every 5 seconds. Try and get it straighter. The quick hands from the Sharks was actually what led to that Moody try given away, the penalty try that is, because he just ended up doing a little bit of the deliberate slappage. And you'll be married by next World Cup, Hamish. That's a scary thought, isn't it? That I've got, how many years is that? About 4.5 years to find a wife. If that was the case, I should mention I don't have to find a wife in 4.5 years. It's not like a contractual thing, but be interesting. See what's around the corner and buy a 12-month URC pass, and then you can watch every game no matter where you are live, says Richard and 100 Kid, says Nazi Williams. And could Mapimpi follow in the footsteps of Josh Adams or Rico Ioane playing a game at 13? Could possibly answer 13 question after Krill, if not Nkosi. They'll come back with East Days and at 12, says Katenda. It's a tricky one at the moment for South Africa because I know that there was another man, it was Van Veek, wasn't it, who had a huge amount of hype around him. Then he played in that South Africa A game and everyone kind of went, actually, no, we don't think he's now ready. So they've got a few options at 12 and 13, maybe not hugely strong. I don't think they'll take Mapimpi off the wing, though, because, they're more, in a way, they're actually more likely to transition Moody, I would say, to 13 rather than Mapimpi, even though I don't see Moody as a 13 option, definitely not at this stage. So it's going to be interesting, see what they end up deciding on with who goes to where and what not. They're just showing all of the crowd reactions. I don't think we've actually seen the tries in the last little while. It's just been what's happened on the sideline with who has been celebrating for those tries as they show them over and over on repeat. But there were some pretty good tries. I think Moody's try was still probably the best of the half, the one where he was able to do the chip and chase. That was actually the solo try of the Bulls, whereas the Sharks are currently sitting on 3 tries, just 1 away from receiving that bonus point, which will certainly help them boost themselves up just a little bit further. And I never thought this, but should be focused on my future. Maybe next year was focusing, says Vishal. And yeah, I guess 2023, when I looked through and thought of all of the goals that I want to accomplish, I realized that none of them actually involved me per se. They were all something to do with YouTube. So I feel like I should probably try and throw in one at least that's not YouTube related that I just have as a New Year's resolution. Like, to be fair, New Year's resolutions, they're almost made to be broken, aren't they? I think very few actually stick with it. And also, well, you have girlfriend, Amish, so get on one knee is the next step. Nah, don't have that girlfriend anymore, Richard, but she is engaged, just not to me. There you go, that's the plot twist. It was only a little while ago too, wasn't it? But yeah, she is no longer the GF of me, and she isn't my partner either. She is engaged to another fellow. It's a long story, but it can be summarized very quickly, but we won't go too far into it. Now, just showing that last Bongi Umbanumbi rolling maul try. Probably not unlikely to see Umbanumbi cross the line again in the second half, although they've got Kieran van Veeren as one of the replacements for the Sharks. Alongside that, off their bench, they've got Blula Sadie, Hiron Andrews, Pepsi Buthelezi, Hendrickse, Cronje, and Pink as the last man there. Vessels, Stennekamp, Lombard, Swanepoel, Nassim Carr, Papier, Mapo, and Creel as the last man for the Bulls. So I don't believe either side have made any changes as of yet. I wouldn't be surprised if the Bulls start making changes relatively early. They did have to play that extra 5 minutes under a huge amount of pressure, just pretty much defending from only about 22 meters out. But yeah, currently 17 points down, 2 converted tries, and then something better than a 3. So really 3 tries needed for the Bulls that would get them the bonus point if they're able to do it. But it is certainly going to be a tough ask. But anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We're only moments away from the second half getting back underway. The Bulls have made their way out onto the field in this ground at Durban. Looks nice enough as well. Still got the Christmas trees up in the background. Now, what's the acceptable time to take down a Christmas tree? Is a good question. Because I know that some people put it up near the end of November. Some people put it up at the start of November. Some people put it up in December. Some people put it up one day before Christmas. So it's an interesting one to think of when people actually take it down. And I feel like it's the least popular of the two in terms of everyone normally discusses when to put it up, but not when to actually remove it. Well, that's fact, considering you were both at the Christmas party a few weeks ago. Well, she moves fast, says Richard. And then Amish bro, I have a still single, should find someone. I'll wait for that thing definitely, says Rochelle. And that's the thing, like no matter how old you are, you've still got time. So that's a good bit of information for you. And fun fact, Stuart Hogg has played 1 game in the outside centre. It was when he was still at Glasgow playing versus Edinburgh in the Pro 12 round 11 fixture around 2014. Are you from Australia? Not quite New Zealand, just across the ditch for myself. Yeah, we've hit New Year. Jay, you're currently 8 minutes away. So Perth, the last place in Australia to hit New Year's. And then, of course, in South Africa, you guys are still sitting on the 31st of December. And cheers, Katenda, says Nazi Williams. And 7th of January, take the tree down. That's a very specific number, Richard. Any reason for the 7th of January being the time to take it down? I assume it's 1 week into the new year, but maybe some other reasoning behind it as well. Right, looks like Bongi Umbanumbi still out there on the field for the Sharks. Might not have made a huge amount of changes as of yet to their side, just because it hasn't been going too badly. Did you see Henry Pollard try? Is he back playing? I haven't seen it yet, Daniel, but it is good news if he has come back, because he was away for a little while. I believe he was out for, it was first initially anticipated 6 to 8 weeks. So I assume that that's relatively close to up now. And you've been to South Africa? No, but I would absolutely love to go. I don't know if it will be in 2023 that I'm able to go there, but I'm hoping within the next kind of 3 or so years I can make the trip to South Africa, especially not drinking, says Jay, and take it down 26-27, says Gareth Brown there. Now, nicely taken by Mako van Staren to start off the second half for the Bulls. They're in position. I believe they will still be playing with, I thought it would be 14 men. Yep, there we go. The yellow card has come up now. They are playing with 14. At the moment, it's stripped by the Sharks, but the penalty goes the way of the Bulls. Okay, the ball was still in. I thought it wasn't. I think was the comment from the referee. So they've actually offside penaltied Oxnashau or Ebenezer. I think it was Etzebeth who does get penalised. I don't think that's the first time in this match either that he has found himself penalised for offside. Become the 6th of January is Women's Christmas, and officially 6th of January is the last day of Christmas. Women's Christmas on the 6th of January. I've never heard of that being a thing. Bowler playing Leicester Tigers. He scored. He looks really tired. Still injuries, says Listen Go. Yeah, the last thing that they want to do is risk him this early on, but that's something that they may end up doing, just because if he's relatively fit, they'll go, oh, since he's such a good player, we can throw him straight back in with no repercussions. That's a knock on from the Bulls, unfortunately. Just a little mistake again. Currently, too many handling errors, too many knock-ons. That's the same thing as a handling error. Too many penalties conceded was the other one I was going to say. Still 38 minutes left. The Sharks need one more try to get themselves the bonus point. The Bulls need 3 to get them the bonus point for 4 or more tries. And alongside that, they also will want to get within the 7 points. So that will be a couple tries around the corner. Second half has started yet. Says some Slayer certainly is. Currently 2 minutes into it. After that handling error from the Bulls, the Sharks have got themselves the scrum feed. Grant Williams wanted to take the quick tap, but it was just a reset rather than the free kick. Yeah, the one-man disadvantage currently for the Sharks. They'll be wanting to make the most of it. They did in the first half, I believe, while they had those men advantage. I think they scored 3 tries. Because one of them was the penalty try, and then from there, they were able to score another 2, I believe. Or, sorry, just another 1. Or was it another 2? No, it was another 2. And Women's Xmas sounds like a good place to snag a misses, Hamish, says Joe. Maybe. Grant Williams puts the ball in the back now, hanging on to this. Well, the Sharks looking for the big push. The Bulls getting that one back. That's a penalty. Oh, no. They've given it as a penalty to the Sharks, but I think the Sharks were under quite a bit of pressure there. Kevin Groveler decided he wanted to try and have a bit of biff with the back of Marco van Staden shirt, who didn't actually realise that there was biff going on with Groveler and his kit. So the Sharks will once again be kicking this one for the corner. Or do they? They're having a shot. Why? I have no idea why they've done that there, the Sharks. You one try off a bonus point. You've already got a 17-point lead. This, for me, doesn't really change too much for them, other than it means that if the Bulls score 3 tries, they have to convert all 3 of them, rather than converting 2 of them. So it's weird. And as I went up, says, Etienne, welcome in. Hope you are doing well. Kevin Bosch, 5 from 5 at the moment. Looking to kick his 6th of the day. If he misses this would be a really bad decision from the Sharks. Shouldn't miss, though. Which is why he probably will, because I'm very good at jinxing them. My prediction is he hooks it to the left. I think he'll get too much curl on it. Now, Kevin Bosch taking his time to line up this kick for the Sharks to give them that little bit more of a lead, a 20-point lead. If he gets it, he's hooked it away to the left. That's a mistake. Don't know why they went for the 3 points. One of the commentators now just saying that he thought the corner would have been the better option, because now South Africa are actually back to 15 men. Sorry, not South Africa, the Bulls. No, they're not. They're just making subs. There's now going to be the number 17 making his way onto the field for Matanzima Sustenacamp, now on the field for the Bulls. Johan Hussen there, kicking off from the 22 for the Bulls. Hinko Fenta runs it back at the line. Williams goes to the right. Jutta Chamberlain, first receiver, now gives it off to Bosch. Bit of space opening up now for Captain Khaleesi. 45 metres out from the Bulls line. Grant Williams goes now to Bosch, once again the first receiver. And not being a smart ass, but it's funny how a drop goal conversion come into play at back end of the game sometimes, says Nazi Williams. I don't know why, but as soon as you said drop goal, it made me think straight away to the 2003 Rugby World Cup. Do you think the World Cup could be won by a drop goal this year? And what's the score? At the moment, it's sitting 30 points to 13. And you jinxed them, says listen, go. And also you jinxed it, Irish, says Nazi Williams. It just seemed like a kick that could be missed. And he was 100% up to that stage, so maybe I did give him the commentator's curse there for that one. Why the South African and Irish teams always involved in high-scoring games. their style of play or something else, says Richard. I think it's just because they do enjoy a very attacking style of rugby. So with that comes a lot of counter-attacking opportunities. And that normally leads to a lot of points. That's going to be an advantage against the Sharks for a knock-on. Bulls, 14 metres out from their line. Good hands from Mornay Smith. It looks like now they are considering the box kick for the Bulls here. Although sitting 17 points down, they certainly need some points soon. They want to have a chance. And Happy New Year, Kiwi lad. We'll be on for the Stormers versus Lions, says CP. Sadly for that game, we won't actually be live for it, which is a big shame because I absolutely would have loved to be able to do the game. But we are getting up relatively early tomorrow because we've got a kind of, it's almost like a family reunion / family, like, what would you call it? It's not a memorial service, but it's like a family gathering to bury some ashes. So it's a thing. So yeah, that is relatively early tomorrow. So I do have to be up at a decent hour. But I managed, like, I was willing to get slightly sleep deprived and watch this game for the stream. I had to do one of these two South African derby matches. That was for sure. And I wish the Bulls would pull their heads out of their asses, says Tech Toys. Yeah, they've just given away a few too many penalties in recent time. That's going to be Kerwin Bosch kicking the ball straight across to the Sharks. Right. Going back for another penalty. I believe that's going to be Heinrich Lowe. Those yawns are coming pretty often for the new year. Here's one for you guys. I haven't slept since last year. See what I did there? I also haven't had a shower since last year, so I'll probably have one of those before I go to bed as well. Your name is Hamish? It is indeed. Yeah. I don't know. Is Hamish a popular name in South Africa? I don't think it's popular per se, but is there anyone in South Africa called Hamish? Listen, go. Another World Cup will be won by a line out and drive, says Richard. Now Bongi on Manumbi throws it into Ebenezer. 20 metres out from the line. Speaking of rolling balls, Sharks have got themselves a pretty handy one here. Trying to still creep to the short side. Instead goes back across to Grant Williams or Kanyoam in the midfield. Good low tackle on him by Chris Smith. Ball available. It's bounced out the side. Now the Bulls have got this one. Good hands from Arunsa, who passes it across to Cannon Moody. Now gives it off to Hendricks. Does a bit of a stutter step. Makazolima Pimpy makes the tackle on him. And don't think so, no. Says, listen, go. Whereas if you went to Scotland, you'd probably find a few more Hamishes lurking around. And go the Sharks, says it's any there as well. Already 10 minutes almost gone in the second half between these two South African sides. Nicely taken by Chamberlain, almost stolen by the Bulls. They've been unlucky in the breakdown not to win any turnover penalties in recent times. You are on the 1st of January 2023 at the moment, says Richard, or are we? We are indeed. Yeah, so I can say I haven't done a lot of things since last year. And that joke only works so far until you get to like the first or second day, and then everyone does just wonder what you're doing. Like if you get to like the 4th of January and you're like, I haven't showered since last year, then that's when people are like, oh, maybe you should, you know. I haven't eaten. No, that's a lie. I did eat this year. Yeah, I ate at like 3:30 New Zealand time. Yeah, I haven't got too many other ones. It's normally just you say that you haven't slept since last year and you haven't showered since last year. The two go-tos. Khaleesi just down on his knee at the moment, looking like he's taking a few heavy breaths, apparently, for the Sharks. But he's had a busy game. Khaleesi had to make some big tackles. That one on Matanzima was extremely strong. I think I'm yawning because I played backyard cricket today. I think it's tired me out. You know when you have a child, or not literally have a child, but you know when you're a child and you start like running around. And then you just reach that stage later on of like, wow, I could do with a nap. I feel like I'm at that stage. How are your eyeballs alive? I'm not sure. I have to say, if you look at me at the start of 2022 compared to the end, I feel like my bags under my eyes have certainly gotten a bit bigger. I've probably aged like 7 years. You didn't sleep for the year. No. We're from New Zealand at the moment. We're 5 hours into the new year. And have your go equals bro on. GoPro for the cricket? No, not for that one. But Nazi Williams, 7:30 p.m. New Zealand time tonight is when our betting video will be coming out of us using our GoPro in that actual match. So that will be coming out in only a few days. No, that's a lie. In only like 14 hours or so. So be sure to keep an eye out for that. Nice way to start the new year with some cricket. And then the umpiring video will probably be a little bit later on. And also, look at that. I'm 5 minutes in. Nothing's different, says Jay. So you haven't like grown a third leg or anything yet, Jay. That's a nice run from Bjorta Chamberlain. 5 meters out. Finds the offload up. And I think it might just be a try for Ryan Jansi van Rensburg. Oosh, nice, says Nazi Williams. Yeah, I finally got what I wanted filmed for it because I wanted to do a little bit of a voiceover at the start and also just wanted to get rid of some of the wind, but the wind was being annoying. But I now have bought a windshield for my GoPro. So that's good news. We're slowly upgrading the setup. I always say any money that we make from the channel goes straight back into the channel. So throughout 2023, I'm hoping we'll be able to slowly and like maybe once a month buy a little bit of extra equipment for either the GoPro or for like a camera upgrade or anything like that, just to keep the quality of the videos getting higher and higher because we've got some big plans. Not yet. My balls are a little itchy, says Jay. Okay. So no third leg, but possibly something else that's 3 letters and normally an abbreviation that you got to go get checked out at a clinic. Could be an option. And also, it's GoPro in New Zealand. You know that. I should have done that as my title, shouldn't I? Rather than GoPro, I should have had GoPro. Everyone would be very confused who's overseas. It's 0-0. It's New Year here in South Africa, says it 10 a year. It's the same for us. It's just with the time zones, we're just a little bit ahead. So, yeah. At the moment, in a 5 hours or so's time at 10 in fact, it will be a little bit longer in about 7 hours' time. It should be a fine day. I can tell you that because we're from New Zealand and we're ahead. Bosch gets that kick over after the try was successful from the Sharks. 37 points to 13 now, getting a little bit too one-sided for most people's likings, but that is going to be the bonus point now for the Sharks. For anyone in Ireland, anyone buy Westlife tickets for New Year's concert in Dublin tonight to bring in 2023 in Ireland. Says Richard, I know that there would have been a lot of mums who were keen on a bit of Westlife. I know my mum doesn't mind them. I think my sister doesn't mind them either. There are about 5 boy bands from back in the day that I think a lot of mums do enjoy. Westlife was one of them. Tell you what, this is going to be our question, ladies and gentlemen. Who else were the old boy bands that the women liked? Take that. Were they a boy band? Is that a boy band? I'm going to counter. Take that a boy band. Westlife. What other ones have we had? What was Robbie Williams from? What one was he with? Boys to Men? Probably, yeah. So that's 3. I swear there's more. Backstreet Boys. That's another one. That's a big tick on the list. Not for me, but for my mum. What other boy bands are there? Who would have thought we'd be talking about boy bands on a rugby live stream? Now Sam Carr. Nice run. 40 metres out from the line. Now the Bulls. They need 3 tries to get themselves a bonus point. And that would still probably be a losing bonus point at that stage. But every point is crucial. I mean, another penalty going the way of the Bulls. The Wiggles. The Wiggles were an absolutely brilliant band. Of course. Would you call them a band? Don't know if you would. I once went on the Wiggles ride in the Gold Coast. Was it the Gold Coast? Top Twins, respectfully, says Nazi Williams. Were they a boy band or were they kind of just a couple Sheilas, weren't they? Who dressed as guys, I think. And here comes the Bulls, says Atene. Although the Sharks, they seem to be just forcing the Bulls back. Every chance that the Bulls have, the Sharks seem to have an answer for it. And it's not really straight away. It's kind of 1 or 2 phases later. That's when they get themselves the turnover. In Sync. Is In Sync a band? What did In Sync sing? Oh, Ambrose Papier making his way out onto the field. That is replacing Bernard van der Linde. Right, so a few changes being made for both of these sides. Take that, Robbie was with a left them boy zone as another. The Bulls' performance is very bad. They must step up for the rest of the season, says Alfie. And here comes the Bulls from a 10 earlier on. Oh, stolen though by Gerbrand Grobbelaar. Doing beautifully there to get that turnover now. Eben Itzebeth, get him from Fedden. Now has made his way out onto the field. Another offload there. Running hard in the line. Jansi van Rensburg. Biota Chamberlain ball on the outside of Makazole Mapimpi. Not too far away from the line now. 15 out. Nice steal from Kyle Brink, but it is going to be the penalty against him. And the Sharks need to start drinking Pepsi soon, says Katenda. Bongi Umbanambi saluting the crowd. And 3 people cheer him. But unfortunate. Right, they've kicked this one for the corner again for the Sharks. Currently only 25 minutes left in the Bulls. They are really, really struggling at the moment, you would have to say. They just don't seem to have that spring in their step that you want to see. I don't know why Kyle Brink started instead of Nassim. Says Simslay and also come on the Bulls, says Roach. And yeah, currently they're actually both out there on the field. So I assume it's to do with having Maka van Staden and Heinrich Low there, and maybe they wanted a little bit more impact off the bench, which is why they went with Carr there rather than Brink. Now, Grant Williams, 15 metres out, Lukanyuam. Nice short ball to Jansi van Rensburg over the top. It's stolen by Cornell Hendricks, skipping sideways. Taken nicely by Makazole Mapimpi, who asked for another penalty. I think that the Sharks wouldn't have to ask for penalties. They've already had plenty of them throughout this match. And also, I would not worry about the Bulls. They will do well in Europe, says Richard there. And I don't know. Oh, no, I read that one, didn't I? And sad day when South Africa teams left the Super whatever, says Nuzzy Williams. It's going to be kicked high. Now, Kurtley Arnse chasing after that, able to make a good tackle on Putkaita. Looks like he's fallen the wrong way, but the set play on. Grant Williams off to Fenter. Thomas the Toy. Another good attack and play here from the Sharks, trying to get onto the ball. Nassim Carr, unable to get it. Lukanyuan ball onto the left-hand side here. Benetzebev looks for the offload, looks slightly forward. I think he was just in the spinning motion. Nice seller, the dummy. Lukanyuan now. Trying to break through, offloads it up to Eben Etzebeth, but it's stripped from him by Gerbrand, or in fact, it's Johan Grobbelaar that time. Was able to get it. Ambrose Papier goes across. They're only 2 metres out from their line. In fact, now they're inside of their own area. Kick downfield, only the half kick. Curly Aransa got plenty of pace, tries to jump onto it, doesn't get it. Makazole Mapimpi does manage to get to it just, but Maka van Staden tries to jump onto him. Got the clean turner. Ambrose Papier now. Trying to go short side. Finds the offload again. The Bulls, they're just trying to get through, but the Sharks are relentless in the way they've been defending. Like an arm was stuck under there for Eben Etzebeth. Hopefully he is going to be all right. Another offload there. Chris Smith now goes to Grobbelaar. Johan Horsen. Bit of speed there. Moody on the outside. Needs to find his next pass. He gives it to Horsen, who goes in the corner. Gets the try for the Bulls. And that is the first for them in the second half. They still need another 2 more to be able to get the bonus point. And that is exactly what they'll be aiming for. That gets them to 19 points behind currently. So still quite a margin that they do have to try and make up here for the Bulls. But some very nice quick hands. Grobbelaar then went on the outside to Horsen, who had some good speed. Ball on the inside to Moody, who then found his offload out to Horsen. Was able to just keep himself in the field of play and score that try. Time for the Sharks to your back. The lead they deserve to. We need to get back to, or get back on the higher end to winning. All right, Chris Smith. Very tough kick from the touchline, but with 3 from 3, should be able to nail this one. I would think. He missed 2 fantastic Irish derby matches tomorrow, Hamish, says Richard. It is a shame, but they also aren't showing them here in New Zealand by the looks of it, which does suck. Because if they were, I would certainly be watching those ones. You gifted, Hamish, the way you roll South African names and the pollies down here How you going places, bro? Lord Williams says Nuzzy Williams. Do appreciate that, Nuzzy. And of course, we do try our best get those pronunciations as close as possible. Sometimes they don't roll off the tongue as well as I'd like. It actually, in a weird way, it depends on how much sleep I've had. Sometimes when I'm less tired, they actually don't roll as nicely, which sounds weird. But yeah, Ulster play Munster tomorrow morning, and they aren't showing it here, which is very sad. And Denswell has said, Happy New Year for you, sir. All the best for 2023 when South Africa still waiting for the new year. Yeah, so you guys, you've still got another, well, to be fair, you've got another match of the URC to look forward to before you get to the new year. Stormers versus Lions taking place a little bit later on in the day in about 45 minutes time. But yeah, Happy New Year to you guys in South Africa. I know it's not there yet, but by the time it is, we will be fast asleep. So I do have to wish you it now. And Labascachni, Hamish, says John Mills. Yep. See, that's the thing. Because of doing the Afrikaan names, like if I was calling it Labashane but didn't know how to say Labascachni, I feel like a lot of people would get annoyed with me for saying it as Labashane, because that's just how the Australian fellow pronounces his name. But yeah, if I didn't have Labascachni up my sleeve as well, I feel like I'd be in a lot more trouble. Now it's going to be nice work from the Sharks, quick hands. In fact, I think it might have been knocked down. Oh, they're going back for the penalty to the Sharks. Makazole Mapimpi was a bit confused. He was just trying to run to the try line. And other than fantastic about Leinster versus Connacht, Leinster going to win by 20 points, says Simslayer. And Leinster play Connacht also tomorrow, says Richard there. So yeah, the Irish derbies, the Welsh derbies, the Scottish derby we had yesterday, and then the Italian derby. It's actually all derbies. It's fun. Come on, Bulls, you rule, says Joseph Van Rooyen. Are they taking on another 3 points here, the Sharks? I'm a little bit confused at why they keep on taking on threes. I guess it's just to extend that lead a little bit more, but like I mentioned, it doesn't really change a whole lot. Gets them 20 points ahead rather than 17. Whereas if you go for the rolling maul, you've got the chance of forcing a mistake from the Bulls, getting them another man down. Now, important kick for Kerwin Bosch. Should be easy enough. 15 metres straight out in front. Does get it over. And that is going to be now 40 points to 20 with a total of 18 minutes left in this match. Come on, the Bulls, says Sim Slayer. I do hope that it gets relatively close. So for that to happen, the Bulls do need to get themselves another 2 tries. That would mean they get the losing bonus point for 4 tries or less. 4 tries or more. And then that would also actually put them within 7, which would then get them another bonus point. So they could walk away from this game with 2 points, but they do need to be the side to score the next 2 tries. Happy New Year, Hamish. The commentaries are superb. Squire says Mike. Do appreciate that a lot, mate, and do enjoy 2023. Got plenty more coming on the channel. In fact, we've probably got more this year in terms of channel ideas than 2022, which is exciting because we've already had a few different videos in the works in terms of vlogs and whatnot. I do actually want to try and do some sort of either weekly or bi-weekly video series of just like the real life of what we get up to behind the scenes. A lot of you guys have been asking about that and been curious about what we actually do other than sit on our seats. So we might try either weekly or bi-weekly vlogs in 2023. If that is something, of course, you guys do want to see. And Bosch needs to practice for the Box next season, Hamish, says John Mills. And even though Leinster not too happy about playing at 7:30 p.m. on a Sunday night, but have to be done, says Richard. And the Sharks, Yaolika Ding, says David. Also, I think Thomas Tatoy should get a start with the Box with Shiego and Bongi on the left, or on his left. Maybe Dweber may need to have a spicy plum and Maharba on either side. Cornel Hendricks now taken off the field. I believe that will be for Lionel Mapo. Yes, it is. Now has made his way out onto the field. Can he be the impact player that the Bulls have been after for just a little while? They have a total of 16 minutes left. They throw it to the front and it's nicely taken. That's going to be a penalty advantage now in favour of the Bulls. And straight away, they will be going back for that penalty. So they can kick this one for the corner, get 5 metres out. from the line if they like. Anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Like I mentioned, 2023, we've got a lot coming up in only 14 hours' time on the channel. You will actually get to see us doing a real-life cricket match, which sounds weird because you'd be like, well, how can you do that? But it is going to be footage of when I was using a GoPro in a recent match. And I will just say it's not the best innings I've ever had, but there's room for improvement. So, yeah, be sure to check that out. We have got a new channel member, Jan Arunsa. Thank you very much for hitting that membership button. You now have access to exclusive emojis, including this Christmas one, which is still hanging around. That'll be fantastic to see your daily life because we are all a family now. I think so anyway, says Richard. Yeah, a lot of you guys spend a huge amount of your time with me. Like thinking through 2022, I probably live streamed for maybe 1,000 or so different matches, whether that was cricket or rugby league or anything along those lines. And some of you guys have been here for like maybe 50%, if not more of those streams. So you've had to look at my face for a good like 2,000 hours, which is a lot. That's like 100 full days. Surely that's not right. That's 100 full days straight, or like 90 full days straight that you guys have looked at me and not unsubscribed. I feel like for you guys, I need to give you one of these for not getting sick of me. Jaden Hendrickson out there on the field now for the Sharks, going to be going for the box kick. They were 5 meters out. The Bulls, unfortunately, slightly blew that opportunity. Nicely taken, though, now. Looking to run it back. Cannon Moody got a bit of speed to him, but good low tackle made by Gurbrand Grubler. Cycle quickly. Papia goes to Chris Smith now. Harold Foster kicks it in behind. Good pace being showed by Johan Husson, but not enough. And it's nicely cleaned up by Jansi van Rensburg. Will now be a goal line dropout. And also we have got there, do you have your Shark shorts on today, Hamish? I do not, but I have got a Puma on them. You guys won't quite be able to see this. And my legs are very white, so I don't know how to show it. But yeah, I've got a Puma pair of shorts on, which is actually the same brand as the Bulls kit, I believe, if I'm not wrong. And also, yeah, Jake White blundered severely by starting the season off by not replacing his defense coach. That left, says Simp Slayer. Right, looks like a little bit of cramp here for Chamberlain. Should be all right, though, to be able to continue this match. Yeah, if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We're on the road to 21,400. That was going to be the goal by the end of the live stream. We are currently only 11 subscribers away. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. And we will have plenty more of the URC just around the corner. As well as sevens, as well as cricket, the Proteas. They haven't been going the best in Australia currently, but we will be covering that next test match on the channel as well. Come off the Bulls. I think it's going to be a line out now for the Sharks. Have some pride in yourself. I bet it's a batting masterclass. You haven't seen it, Sebastian. Don't get me wrong. I feel like the amount of runs that I ended up with, I was a little bit hard done by. In terms of, I think I played some nice shots, but I hit them straight to the fielders. And can't Jake do it all? Says John. And also, what do you think about Kurtley Arinsa and Chislin Colby on the World Cup? It would be interesting to see one of them on each wing, but I think they're both jockeying for that same spot, aren't they? And Makazole Mapimpi's kind of got that other side. Unless Kurtley Arinsa does end up taking Mapimpi's spot, perhaps. A lack of South African franchises in Super Tournament certainly has watered down competitiveness of the remaining teams, says Mike. And oh yeah, what's this about Eddie Jones joining Australia for 2023 World Cup madness? In my opinion, says Richard. So they are going to have another little stoppage here. This uses up more time on the clock. What's this call now? So it was taken by the Sharks. Then from there, Kieran van Veeren had the ball in his hands. And then it was a penalty against the Bulls. I believe they came in through the side. Oh, Kerwin Bosch just backed into Ebenezebeth. That would be a scary sight, to be honest. You're back into Ebenezebeth, and then you turn around and just see him. Like, you just look at him like that and just know that you're about to get punched. Not if you're his teammate. I like to think that he'd be a little bit nicer to you if you're on the same team as him. 11.5 minutes. The Sharks have actually got another good opportunity to score another try here. Maybe even bring up the 50. There's still time. 12 minutes or so. Gubran Groble, he's had a big game here. Him and Itzebeth both playing the long game here, but that's going to be nicely stolen by the Bulls. On the 22, it's been taken back as the call. Now a nice step there. Oh, is that Harold Foster? It was. Done very well. Jaden Hendrickson, though, gets the turnover. Gubran Groble now tries to pierce through the line. The Bulls back on defense. They've been on defense a majority of the second half, and they just don't seem to be able to break that momentum. Jaden Hendrickson once again going through. Lionel Cronje goes for the kick in behind. Almost sits up, and it does. One more. Oh, well done by Curly Arinse to somehow steal that one. Right on the verge of a try against the Bulls. Managed to stop it from going down. Now wide pass from Papia. Big shot. Was that Pepsi Butterlazy? I think it was. And that's now going to be an attacking scrum in favour of the Sharks. Massive shot on Lionel Mapo. Got the hospital pass that he certainly wouldn't have been after. It also, but he needed Eddie Jones at the 2007 World Cup, says John Mills. Yeah, good kick in behind from Lionel Cronje. Bounced out of the hands of Johan Horsen. Then Kerwin Bosch was just looking for that kicking option. Arinse. Massive shot from, was it Pepsi Butterlazy? It might have actually been Notchia. They might not have made that change yet. Absolutely massive, hard-hitting shot. It's like a few players suffering a bit of cramp out there at the moment. It's been a tough 70 minutes of rugby. Bulls have been under a huge amount of pressure, just trying to stop the Sharks from getting themselves another try. Currently, as the standings sit on the live ladder, the Celsius Sharks, with this win, they would actually be sitting on 29 points. Bulls ahead of them with a 2-game buffer, sitting on 34. So as we see a few of these other sides start to catch up in games, we may see a few more sides closer to the Bulls. The URC table, the Sharks, they'll be pretty happy to be where they are with the two games in their favour, I should say. And we've got our first bot of 2023. Like hot photo, my sister. Interesting advertisement there. And hit me, even to Alatoa. That was an enjoyable little rivalry that those two had for that match, wasn't it? How Evan just had the wide open eyes like this, going, Alatoa, hit me in the face because I want you to get sent off the field. But to Alatoa's credit, he didn't cave. Morena also, Happy New Year's. Happy New Year's to you too. King T, I should say. And Thunderstruck to ACDC. Sharkies ahead. Nice, Hamish. Who's your winner in this game? I think the Sharks from the get-go were always going to be a tough side to beat. On paper, their side looks, I guess, a little bit more complete at this current point in time. Don't get me wrong, the Bulls have got some great players, but I'd say that the Sharks, in terms of notable names, probably just have that few more that make them a little bit more recognizable. But that doesn't always lead to great performances. The Sharks overall, even though they gave away those few early penalties, they fought back well from there and haven't given away too many since. Jaden Hendrickson about to feed the ball in. Gone down in the front row, though. We had an agreement that you guys would get the stability before this one. It's a comment from the ref. Like they just said, for the Sharks, they've already got the 5 points. For the Bulls to get at least 1 point in this game, they would need 2 more tries. And also, we've got that thunder, says Nuzzy Williams. Absolute banger of a song from AC/DC, and that's going to be the penalty to the Bulls this time. 1 knee down on that far side. Oh no, the replacement hooker they've actually said, Kieran van Vuuren, the man who's been penalised for that one. Chris Smith now going to be kicking this one into touch from deep inside of his own territory. It's gone out. Gurran Grubler not quite able to stretch those arms long enough, which is tough to say because if he can't stretch his arms long enough, then no one probably can out there on the field. Pinker made his way out onto the field. That is for Jan Stefan Rensburg. Is that a very good game overall, you'd have to say? It looks like another change being made here as well. It's going to be the number 18 for the Bulls, making his way on. So that is replacing Mornay Smith. That's a big shot straight away put in by Hiron Andrews. Running this one straight, Kyle Brink. That is Lombard making his way up there for Smith. Now kicked high. Didn't get too much on it, but it's going to be slapped back onto the side of the Bulls, but it goes into touch. And now the Sharks will have themselves another line out. We met some girls, some dancers who gave a good time. Quoted that verse to my teacher. We met some girls, some dancers who gave a good time. Is that actually a part of Thunderstruck? Is it? Yeah, maybe. And who's your mum, Hamish? Who's my mum? Or where's my mum, John? Which one of the two? Is the game over? Not quite. They were just having a line-out reset, but now the Sharks have been able to retain it, using their back line now wide into the hands of Makazolema Pimpy. Nicely done by the Sharks, going short side. Hendrickse pins the ears back, gets himself another try for 2022. Of course, it's not too far away from 23 in South Africa, but looks like New Year's, the Sharks are going to be going in on a high. Third career try here for Jaden Hendrickse, and the crowd in attendance very happy. The ref just say he's going to check something. I couldn't hear him. I was yawning. Yeah, short side, Jaden Hendrickse. He just saw that there was space there. Oh, they want to review it officially here. Okay. They think that there might have been a little bit of obstruction here. So that's going to be time off again. So maybe Sia Khaleesi is the culprit for this one if it was wrong. So that earlier misconversion didn't come into play. But never know, sometimes there's Nazi Williams. Yeah, luckily for them in this game, they've got enough of a lead that it seems like even if there were going to be some points being scored by the Bulls, it just wasn't really going to be enough. Right, what are we looking at here? So Sia Khaleesi, they're trying to check to see whether or not came and got the clean out, passed the ball. Okay, they're just going to be checking to see if he was taking him too far back. How much time is left? We have currently got another 6 minutes left in the contest. So for the Bulls, seems like it is possibly out of reach. They could still get 2 quick-fire tries here to cause the bonus point. Okay, they're checking the wide angle now. So it is for Khaleesi, possibly taking out the player, Lombard. Okay, the referee saying that's too far past the breakdown. I think this try might be overruled. This is a massive defeat for a team who's in 4th place. Says Sebastian, it is. And to be honest, they haven't really looked like a team who are in 4th place. Man of the match, Hamish, I would say for me, I would say, Jan Stefan Rensburg's had a pretty solid game. Bongi or Manambi they might consider, but I would probably go Van Rensburg. Hey, Sebastian Nazi, are you both on fire? Call the fire brigade. I'm subscribing. I'm going to get paid soon, Oak Boss. It's time for the new year. Says Ruth. Okay, Sia Khaleesi's disappointed. The man a little bit too far past the breakdown is the ruling. So now it is going to be the penalty to the Bulls. Speaking of Bulls, they've now got to find one. Chris Smith. Sit into touch. They're saying Khaleesi might also be an option for man of the match for this one. Right, the Bulls throw it in. Goes to the front. Taken nicely by Kyle Brink. Now across this almost, I'd say 50-50 change backline in terms of players who have made their way out onto the park and also who's going to be the man of the match. I would say if I had to pick out of about 3 players, it's either going to be Khaleesi, Janci van Rensburg, maybe Grant Williams, probably a decent shout for this contest. You go the Sharks, make easy meal of the Bulls. They're lagging back. Poor Bulls. See his roof. And yeah, once again, another penalty goes against them. Sharks now able to kick this one into touch with Kerwin Bosch, only 5 meters out. Another rolling more opportunity. They're getting plenty of them at the moment. They are just showing there. Stormers versus Lions. That game is going to be kicking off in only 24 minutes' time. Sadly, due to prior commitments, we won't be able to cover that game. I will have to get some sleep. We'll head into a family event tomorrow. Celebrate the New Year's Day. So, yeah, you will end up getting a bed, but I will certainly be watching that one in the near future. Probably on the way to Wanaka. Might end up giving that one a watch. It's going to be put high. Nicely taken by Kurt Learns. In fact, it's Johan Horsen. Been able to get that one. So he wants to run it up to the 22. Does he? Yeah, he does. In fact, they might have just said that he was able to play on, was he? Bit of a counter ruck there from the Sharks. 4.5 minutes left. Marco van Staden. Good tackle made by Yapinke. The moment, it just doesn't seem like there's enough gaps out there on the park for the Bulls to get through. Yeah, I agree, but think the standard of the comp on these island South Africa have good clubs and the comp Bulls would hammer Italy and Wales teams and Scotland. Says Richard, now the cross kick attempt. It's risky, but it's picture perfect and pinpoint accurate. Now, nice pass off the line on Mapo. Looking to go through, moves up now to the 22-meter line. Bros Papia goes across. The Bulls currently playing with 14 minutes. They have had another injury. Nice step there from Nassim Kar. Brink on the outside. Still going. Yapinke lured in to make the tackle on Maka van Staden. Now across again. Nassim Kar. Nice hand from Swanepoel. Chris Smith trying to pierce his way through 35 meters out from their line. Now the Bulls. It's probably their last real chance at getting a bonus point. They need to score before the 78th minute. Now Lana Mapo. Another carry. He falls the wrong way. Almost Kenneth Van Feren's ball. Nassim Kar. Another few meters made there. Piercing the gap. Imbros Papia unable to find the offload. Bulls up to 8 phases now. Believe it or not, I believe actually the most that they've had in this game. And it's in probably one of their final attacking plays of the 80 minutes. Now moving up to 9 phases. Rose Papia, rough ball, good hands from Chris Smith to be able to pick that one back up. Nassim Kar. Big run. Bumping off Lucanio arm in the process. They're the replacement hooker now. Still going forward. Sebastian Lombard this time. Chris Smith goes back into the pocket. Rush defense from Khaleesi. Able to cut him off. Yapinke tries to get in and get the turnover. Wasn't able to. Now going short side again. Quick hands. No space. And they get forced into touch. Taking it quickly there. I believe there was the number 22, Lionel Cronje. Decided to give it a crack. That was like Steve Sevier said, 8th. And there as well now. Oh, what's happened here? Referee said come back. Why are they going back? They're going to be checking a tackle on Kurtley Aronsa by the looks of it. How high was it? Yeah, it was around the neck. He was ducking a little bit. So it might end up being a penalty against the Sharks. If the Bulls can't beat the big teams, it's a bad sign, says Simp Slayer. Right. I think they'll go back for that original penalty. That will put them about 40 meters out from a line, if not 30. Now, I mentioned that they pretty much do need to score before 78 minutes. We're currently sitting at 78 minutes in this game. Anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Our goal by the end of this one was to get to 21,400. We are not too far away, so be sure if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. We have got plenty more rugby coming up in the future. So this tackle, yeah, see, it was round the neck, but I don't think it was cynical. It was more just he did end up ducking down. The Bulls having a nightmare, keep pressure on, and where's your guitar, George? You can do heavy rock there. Says Roof. So currently the guitar is actually out in the garage, just because I did end up taking it out of the lounge for Christmas. I haven't quite brought it back in yet. And also, hi there, wondering what excuses Jake White is going to come up with this time after last week's embarrassment at the hands of the Sparkman Stormers. Says Peter, yeah, 2 wins or 2 losses in a row, sorry, is not what any side want heading into the new year. And come on, the Sharks. Says Manano. Hopefully I've said that correctly. And time left, currently only 2 minutes left on the clock at the moment. Is Kirtley taller than Poison Dwarf? Poison Dwarf. Once again, I've forgotten who Poison Dwarf was. Was it Warner? Is he who Poison Dwarf was? Maybe. I think Kirtley's a little bit shorter than David Warner. And Jake White is killing the Bulls, isn't he? Says Sebastian. And also, but do the Bulls have a full team out? They do. It's a strong team. Oh, okay. This is actually going to be a Cannon Moody red card as well. So it gets slightly worse for him. Worst thing is, it is going to be actually after they would have originally gotten that high tackle penalty, but because the Sharks took it quickly and they didn't check it at the time, it's now going to lead to Cannon Moody getting a second yellow, which will then become a red. He will not return for the rest of this match, I think. Or is that going to be a red? Yes, it is. Jake needs some help, says John Mills. High level of danger. Okay, so because it goes down from a red to a yellow, it may avoid a suspension. And also we have got there he's too old now, Jake White, says Brandon. Okay, so they're saying they stopped the game for a late high tackle from the Sharks, but because it continued on, it then means that the yellow card for the next guy still will stand. And I think Noki is just asking the question now, because it happened after it would have been the penalty to them, should it still be a yellow card? But Cannon Moody, he was actually already off the field. I think they subbed him. Get Jake fired, and Jake White must realise money can't buy everything, says Peter Williams. Are you doing the Stormers game? Sadly, we aren't doing Stormers versus Lions. I wish that we could have been able to, but yeah, we do have to have a bit of sleep before a family event tomorrow for New Year's Day. So I believe at the end of this live stream, I will be able to get 4 hours sleep before having to get up and go to the family event. And then after that, we are driving for about 3 hours to get to our holiday destination. Who's the new Pommy coach then, Hamish? Says John Mills. I think it's the guy who was the assistant. I know he's got a tough name to say. Is the score 45 or 40? Says River Runs Deep. Yeah, that scoreboard's slightly wrong, isn't it? There we go. It's actually only just realized it's been on 40 for a long time, isn't it? Or hasn't it? And your pronunciation is very good, Minia. Don't worry about it. Says Maniano. Do appreciate that, mate. Now 2 minutes left on the clock for the Sharks. Might be able to make it to 45, perhaps. They do score this next try, but this will be all about just running down the clock a little bit more for the Sharks. They know they've got this game in the bag. Big kick downfield from Kerwin Bosch will get them about 15 meters out from the line now. 20-point lead. So already a very, very impressive win for the South Sea Sharks, but to be able to go on and then get themselves one last try at the end, Steve Borthwick, that's the name. I can think of once again going to be stolen by the Bulls. So now another attacking chance for them right at the end of the match. Lionel Mapo's got this one. Big shot on him from the side. I believe that was actually maybe Van Rensburg, who got on with that one. Yapinke gets over the ball. Clean turnover now. And the Sharks just made it look easy in the breakdown. How long is your holiday? It's only 2 days. Me, George, and also Daniel. We're meeting up with him while we're down there. We're just going to somewhere that's about 3 hours away, just for a short break. But we will be vlogging the whole time that we're here. I'm also going to be taking my laptop, so we'll be editing videos while we're away as well. So, yeah, nothing will really change in terms of the amount of videos you guys will be seeing. And also, there is a video going out in 14 hours' time, which is my betting with the GoPro on the actual match. Want to visit New Zealand? Leave the Kiwi lads and slow dance with Mitchell Johnson or David Warner. Eat more chocolate and see some rugby matches at a stadium. Says Roof. Sounds like you've got a pretty good plan lined up there, Roof. And Jake White does not know what he is doing to the young players in the Bulls team. Maybe Orense or Moody must join the Storm, says Stephen. I picked Sharks as Roger Tuivasa-Sheck and Clark fan, says Nazi Williams. Now just passing it across. Lionel Cronje gives it off now to Pepsi Buthelezi with a nice big bump off. Only 20 seconds left, almost a turnover. Yes, it will be for the Bulls. 5 seconds left now. They can't get themselves a bonus point in this game. So do they just kick this one into touch? Looks like some heavy puffing. The moment coming from Kyle Brink might have ended up with some sort of injury there. Enjoy your festivities, Hamish. I will try my absolute best to. That's the thing. My brain, it's going to be very hard to be out of YouTube mode, because we're probably going to end up vlogging anyway, so that will still be kind of in YouTube mode to an extent. But like, in terms of, I haven't gone a day without editing or doing anything YouTube related since not this last Christmas we've had, but the Christmas before. 2021's Christmas was the last day that I had completely off. And the Kiwi Lads nice commentary says, Yanni, thank you very much and Happy New Year all. I blame Chris Smith and Bulls ball defense for this match. Okay, thanks, Go Pommy. Stevie Wonder must be the Bulls coach. Do they know where the try line is? They can use my spectacles, says Ruben. Yeah, Hamish, enjoy your time with the family and the lads. That's going to be one last drive for the Sharks. Jansi van Rensburg gets it. Yeah, I think he's close to my man of the match for this one. Happy New Year again. Go strong in 2023 as well. We certainly will. We've got plenty more just around the corner. Like I mentioned, 7:30 p.m. New Zealand time tonight is when that video will be coming out of us doing our betting with the GoPro. Be sure to check that out. By that stage, I should almost be up in Wanaka. And also enjoy our holiday, Hamish, says Richard. And also we'll blame Jake White. Nice one, the roofie. And thank you, Hamish. Champion, mate. You fellas have a great time. God bless, man. Says Nazi Williams. And yeah, hopefully everyone enjoys their first couple of days of 2023. There's an excellent Sofa or South African coach at Bath. Why didn't the Pommies get him? Says John. Yeah, but now Kerwin Bosch, he's going to have one last kick to be able to line up for this one to make the score 47 points to 20 in favour of the Sharks. That is certainly a statement win for the boys in black today. That is going to be the first of two South African derbies that are taking place today. The next one's Springboks, or sorry, not Springboks, Stormers taking on the Lions will also be a very awesome matchup. But thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I will see you all for the next one.